Good morning. Let us start with the fifth week of Unified, dealing with uninvited influences. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to read this today, and for every day, you have to watch the same video so that you are repeating the text and going into quiet period for 15 minutes. Let us start. Dealing with uninvited influences. You cannot overemphasize the importance now of keeping yourself clear of uninvited influences. This week, you examine these influences a little further and you develop another tool to deal with them. Throughout your life, you have experienced these influences. In your own life, they account for those numerous times you weren't yourself. You really weren't totally yourself. They also explain some of the periodic irrational behavior of your friends and family. Later in this course, you will learn how to help others under uninvited influences. This week, however, you are going to continue the focus on yourself. Have you ever awakened after a full night's rest, exhausted? Was it an effort to smile? Did the least little provocation set you off? Chances are this was an uninvited influence. Have you experienced a sudden change in mood from ease and happiness to irritability and impatience? At the time, you felt justified in your nastiness and negativity, but in retrospect, it seemed uncalled for. Chances are this was an uninvited influence. Have you ever blown up at a loved one only to feel terribly sorry later? Chances are this was an uninvited influence. Have you ever been in a mood of fear without being able to pinpoint it? Or maybe the fear was concrete but of something you weren't usually afraid of. Chances are this was an uninvited influence. Have you ever fantasized dangerous or foolish action that you know you would never do in your right mind? Chances are this was an uninvited influence. Not all of your fears, irrational behavior, weird thoughts, burst of anger, and period of exhaustion are caused by uninvited influences. They can also be your own stress, your own imaginations in illusion. It can be your own imperfect thinking that needs to be healed. However, far too often it is the stress and the fearful thoughts of others that you are allowing to influence you. Note the word allowing. Nothing can influence you without your express or tacit approval. Nothing. Out of ignorance, you have allowed influences in your life, influences that have made you miserable. Even more significant, they have built the barrier higher and stronger between you and your higher self. We must not look upon these uninvited influences with scorn. No, they are loving creations of God, just as you are. They are just frightened and confused by an illusion they've made for themselves that is not different, except in degree, from the illusion you have built separating yourself from yourself. It is entirely possible that you too have been an uninvited influence for someone. In another lifetime, if you died in confusion or fear and refused to help to direct you to your next perfect place, you could have hung around and influenced others with your fear and negativity. Think of any uninvited influence with love as you would want to be thought of if you were caught in that situation. Send love while you say the healing words. This week, you will continue to begin your quiet periods by healing any uninvited influences as you did last week. Then close your aura to all except your higher self. Unify with God by thinking of some of the God's qualities and claiming them for yourself. Start your communication with your higher self when you have received its signal. When that communication is over, you say these words. Now, please give me my signal for uninvited influences. Sit comfortably, relaxed, open, and receptive. Wait for some physical signal you will feel or notice in your body. This is a signal your higher self will give you when you are under an uninvited influence. It is usually an unpleasant, such as a slight pain someplace, or slight nausea, or slight dizziness, or uncomfortable sound or vision. However, it is not necessary that it be unpleasant. It can be a twitch someplace on the body, a definite movement, a warm or cold feeling someplace, or a numbness. As with a signal from your higher self, this uninvited influence signal can be anything that catches your attention. So sit back and wait for it. When the signal comes, repeat the words with the love that you memorized 2 weeks ago to clear your aura of the influence. The signal will go away. If, if it doesn't, that means there is another uninvited influence. So repeat the words with love. The thoughts of the uninvited influences are forms of energy, bubbles of negativity, fear, worry, concern, or anger. These bubbles may continue even after the uninvited influence is healed. Therefore, from now on, after you have healed the influence, say, I send love and light to all thought forms around me. After all, these negative thoughts form really are feeding us problems. After all, these negative thought forms really are feeding us problems. These healing words are also to be repeated in crowd when you close your aura. This is your exercise for each quiet period this week. Ask for your uninvited influence signal, then get rid of the signal by reciting your memorized words to heal the influence. Just because you now have a signal for uninvited influence doesn't mean you can let your guards down. The signal will only come to you when you normally wouldn't know about it, the influence. So continue with your practice of repeating the formula when you feel you need it. Usually the need arises with the strong thought I have an uninvited influence, but it can simply be the symptoms exhaustion, fear, anger, irritability, etc. For most people, the concept of these uninvited influences is a very foreign notion. It smacks of ghost stories, the supernatural, witches, goblins, and sorcery. If the concept bothers you, keep an open mind and do this part of these lessons mechanically. When when your life changes, when your heart refills with love, and when you feel a burden lifted with the healing of each uninvited influence, those preconceived notions will vanish. To rid yourself of these influences is a giant step in being and staying unified. In your activity this week, continue to develop the habit of closing your aura to all except your higher self. Continue to send love from your heart wherever you go, whenever you think about it, to anyone or anything. When you go to bed, to continue to alternate the practice of sending love and unifying with God's qualities. Continue to give thanks to your higher self for its communication of truth to you. Thank your higher self for giving you the uninvited influence signal and for helping to keep your aura clear. It may seem that you are taking on more and more and more. Very soon, these practices will be so much a part of your life that nothing is being done at all. They will be as natural as drinking, eating, or sleeping. So, this is the end of week 5. Just go through the exercises. First, centering in your heart, unify with God, then ask for the uninvited influences signal, and then send love, good thoughts to the uninvited influence and just make them leave by healing, by sending love and light to them. So let us start with 15 minutes of quiet period. Thank you.